Saturday Sanga. Saturday Sanga on Saturday. Which Saturday? December 30th. Which December 30th? The year 2023. Which comes after the year 2022, in case you didn't know. And I'm still in the year 2019 in my mind. So happy New Year, if you wish it to be so. I think we all want happiness. Yeah. And greetings from Cordoba, Argentina, back from San Javier, the wild country of San Javier, semi-wild. Okay. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Saharajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanditanscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktisiddhanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, welcome everyone to Saturday Sangha again. We are going to sing a song after reading the song of Srila Narottama Thakura, and then we'll see if there's some showing and telling. And then, because today is, oh, we have some more live guests coming. Today is the Tirobhava Titi, the disappearance day, the departure day observance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. And so I've a couple of things that we can look at and discuss and read. Something by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Actually, two things, interesting things. So something to look forward to. And then we'll see how the time goes. If are any questions or comments, something to discuss, then we can do that and basically keep things not unnecessarily over-structured. If I'm sounding a little gravelly in my voice and a little weak in the voice, it's because I'm sort of 75% here today. Physical condition is not on the top. It's not bad, but it's not, I don't know, maybe from change of weather. Let's see, we're going to need some translation. Do we have Castellano translation? Yes, we have Taitiesha. So, Valeria, if you want to connect. Yeah. All right. We're situated here in the home of Kike in Cordoba. And we have Madhupuri with us and Kike and Bhuvana Chandrika and Valeria. So we have live audience in the room, and we have live audience on Zoom. In the room and on Zoom. That sounds very almost poetic. Right, so let's see what we have for a song. We have Narottama Das first, our review from the last time. Shunyachi sadhu mukke bole sarvajan, Sri Rupa kripai mile jugala charan. So Narottama says, I have heard from the mouths of the saintly devotees that everyone says that by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, one may approach the lotus feet of the divine couple. So that's good news. If we can get the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, then we are there. We've arrived. O Sanatan Prabhu, O personal associate of Lord Chaitanya, please fulfill my desire. Interesting that he addresses Sanatan Goswami, who of course is the brother, the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa and Sanatan are, very much a team, a Goswami team. They both wrote Bhagavatamritas. Sanatan Goswami wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and Rupa Goswami wrote Lagu Bhagavatamrita. So together they wrote the two Bhagavatamritas, which we can understand as essentials of the Bhagavatam in two very different styles, very different ways. Okay, third verse, please fulfill my desire that saintly Srila Rupa Goswami may be merciful to me and that I will be able to take shelter of his lotus feet. So it seems he's praying to Sanatana Goswami, please bless me that I will get the mercy of Rupa Goswami. So we might ask, why the special preference for Rupa Goswami? And my understanding is the reason is, number one, as he says, through him one can approach the lotus feet of the divine couple. Why? Well, one reason would be, who is Rupa Goswami? He is Rupa-manjari, and the manjaris are very intimate servants of the divine couple. Another reason could be that Rupa Goswami, as the author of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, has set out our Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding of rasa theory. It's a major, central, key, number one principle and center of devotional life for the devotees, and therefore Gaudiya Vaishnavas are called Rupa-nugas, followers of Rupa Goswami. Then he says, when will my master Lokanath Goswami place me at the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami? So that's interesting. To approach the Guru for his blessings to be at the feet of Rupa Goswami is bona fide. Can ask for that blessing. And finally, when by your mercy, addressing Lokanath, presumably, will your faithful follower Narottama Das become eligible to receive direct instruction from the gopi friends of the divine couple? Heno din ki hobe mora narma saki gane anugata Narottama koriben shasane. Shasane is direction, orders. And that's what's coming in today's song, is anticipation of getting those orders. So this is Lalasa, song number 3, a Nava Dasa boli, from Narottama Das Thakura's Prarthana collection of songs. A Nava dāsī boli Sri Rupa-manjari heno śubha kana mora koto dine hobe. When will I be a young gopi-maidservant? Nava dāsī. When will Sri Rupa-manjari directly order me? When will that auspicious time be? Heno śubha kshana. Interesting. Kshana usually means moment, but here he's taking it as time, śubha kshana, that auspicious time, mora koto dine hobe. Koto dine is how many days? How many days will it be before I will get this mercy? And cāhibe, I guess, is will order, will command. Cāhibe. Okay, and then śīghra ājñā koriben dāsī hethā ājñā sevāra susajja karjo koroho tvarai. When will Sri Rupa-manjari repeatedly order me about, saying, "Oh, maidservant, come here, quickly arrange for my fancy garments and ornaments"? Śīghra means quickly, ājñā means order, koriben will do, will make, dāsī hethā ājñā. And so this is what Rupa-manjari would say: "O maidservant, come here." Dāsī is maidservant. Hethā ājñā, come here. Ājñā is come. As in ani or, sort of ani or in Govardhan, ani or bring more. Okay, sevāra susajja karja. Let's see, susajja. Fancy, I think, fancy ornaments, or fancy garments and ornaments. Sevāra sajja karja koroho tvarai. Tvarai, I would think, also means quickly. Śīghra and tvarai. Oh, he's taking śīghra, I think, as repeatedly. Śīghra ājñā koriben. Number 3, anandita hoya hiya tar ājñā boli pavitra monete karja koribo tatkale. By hearing these orders, I will become delighted. Anandita hoya. Hiya tar ājñā. Ājñā, of course, is orders, or ordered, orders. Bole, when spoken. Tara ājñā, of him, of her. And hiya, I'm not sure. Having heard, I guess, yeah. Having heard. And then these orders will completely absorb the attention of my purified mind. Pavitra monete, in my purified mind. Karja koribo tatkale. Tatkale, at that time. Karja. Karya usually means like what's to be done, a duty. Koribo, I will do my duty. tatkale, at that time. I think that would be a more literal translation. Then number 4, sevāra samagri ratna talete koriya suvasitavari swarna jharite puriya. When in Sri Rupa-manjari service will I fill a jeweled tray with various paraphernalia for worship? So samagri means paraphernalia. What's samagri? Sevāra samagri, the paraphernalia for service, of service. And where will it go? Talete, in a tray. What kind of tray? Ratna talete, a jeweled tray. A jewel tray. Koriya, having prepared the samagriya on a tray, suvasitavari swarna charite puriya. Engaged in her service, when engaged in her service, will I fill a golden goblet? Swarna jharite, I guess. Puriya, having filled or filling with aromatic water, suvasitavari. Suvasitavari. And then, donhar sambuke loye dibo śīghra gati Narottama dāsā hobe hobe mati. When will I be able to quickly approach the divine couple? Donhar sambuke. Being in the presence, in front of sambuke, donhar, the two of them. Loye dibo śīghra gati, will I be able to quickly approach? Śīghra. Okay, we had śīghra before as meaning repeatedly, and now it means quickly. Śīghra gati, going quickly. Dibo, I will give. What will I give? Loye, taking. I get, oh, okay, taking these items in the tray, the samagri, and taking the goblet, the cup of fragrant water, I guess. Dibo, I will give them. Narottama dāsā kobe. So now comes the question word kobe. Kobe is when. So at the very end of the song, and in the translation, he's applying that question word to each of the other verses. One might take it also as more as, I mean, it's in any case anticipation, but one might take it also as more a sense of confidence. It's going to happen. I'm going to be in this situation. And then at the end, yes, but when is this going to happen? And the word dāsā is not to be confused with dasa or dāsī. It's dāsā, and dāsā means a condition or a sort of a level of a platform of existence. Dasa. So Narottama Dasa, the condition of Narottama kobe, hobe. When will this be? A mati. This mood? I'm not sure. All right, well, let's try it. We have a backup band here. Oops, let me change this to musicians on. Okay. Here we go. Nava, dāsī, boli, Sri Rupa-manjari, Nava, dāsī, boli, Sri Rupa-manjari, Nava, dāsī, boli, Sri Rupa-manjari, heno, śubha, mora, koto, dine, hobe. Heno, śubha, mora, koto, dine, hobe. śīghra, ājñā, koriben, dāsī, hethā, ājñā. śīghra, ājñā, koriben, dāsī, hethā, ājñā. sevāra satya karya koroha tvaraya. Sevāra karya koro. Sevāra satya karya koroha tvaraya. Anandita hoya hiya hara ājñā boli. Anandita hoya hiya hara ājñā boli. Pavitra monete karja koribotatale. Pavitra monete koribotatale. sevāra samagri ratna palete koriya. sevāra samagri ratna palete koriya. Suvasita mani svarna jarita puriya. Suvasita mani svarna jarita puriya. har samukhe loye divo śīghra gati. Don't hara samukhe loye divo śīghra gati. Narottama dasa hobe animati. Narottama dasa hobe animati. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Narottama Das Thakura ki jai. Harinam Sankirtana ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One thing about this song which strikes me is the sense of longing. It's Lalasa. Many of these songs are long. What are they longing for? They're longing for spiritual perfection. And what is that spiritual perfection? He's describing some details, how that looks. It's about doing these quite practical services, which are also very sweet services, preparing items on a tray and offering them to Radha and Krishna, giving them something to drink. And so this longing point, I think, is worth giving a little attention to. Specifically, I'm reminded of a nice guideline given by Damodar Swami Maharaj for chanting. He suggests 5 stages for chanting japa. But I think these can be applied to all activities, not just chanting japa. But just briefly, the first of these stages is be attentive. And specifically, he suggests making it a point to listen to the 32 syllables of the Maha Mantra. There are 32 syllables in the Maha Mantra. You can count for yourselves if you're not convinced. So yeah, sort of giving attention that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All the sounds are there in one's consciousness. So that's the first stage. Just give it attention. Prabhupada emphasized so many times, just listen, just hear the mantra. And then the second stage, he suggests, is be introspective. And here what he's suggesting about being introspective can still have a kind of physical aspect, a physical feature, so to say. By that, I mean become conscious of the sound of the mantra as vibrating through the whole body. You're making your body into a resonator for the Maha Mantra, from the top of the head to the tip of the toes. The whole body can vibrate the Maha Mantra. Every cell of the body. One can think of the outer, the skin layers, but then going inside. So in that sense, introspecting, looking in, but looking for this sense of the entire body, the physical body, being involved. And then the third stage is, in a sense, taking that introspection. Well, maybe before I go there, with introspection, Maharaj also suggests listening for any, what he calls, instinctual response to the sound of the mantra. Instinctual response. Is there anything that sort of comes out from one's chanting a sense, if my whole being is chanting this mantra, what kind of feeling is coming out from that? So it's being attentive and introspective to that feeling. And then that introspection in the third stage goes to the point, be sincere. And he suggests listening for sincerity. To listen for sincerity is that leads to sincerity's development. And then when one detects in one's self a little tiny spark of sincerity, then one can amplify that feeling. One says, aha, there it is, some feeling of sincerity, a desire to actually be pleasing to Lord Krishna and Radha and Krishna. And I was thinking of another way of thinking about sincerity is one can sort of ask oneself a challenging question. Do I really want Krishna, or do I want just a reflection of Krishna? Do I want the real thing, or do I just want a semblance? Do I want to be a real devotee, or do I just want to appear like a devotee? So when you ask yourself that question, it immediately you think, no, I want to be the real thing, of course, and I want to really serve Krishna, and I want to really connect with the real Krishna, not with a facsimile or something other than Krishna. And then that brings to the fourth stage, which he suggests is be sweet. Chant in a sweet way. Chant in a way that it sounds attractive, because it is attractive, the all-attractive name. And in this spirit of, from sincerity, wanting to please and be loving toward Radha and Krishna, how to be that way? Well, be sweet. Have a sense of wanting also your chanting to be sweet, which means not chanting like you're threatening Krishna. You know, Krishna, you have to listen to me now. Or shouting at Krishna, or I don't know. There's some rather strange ways that some devotees chant, like I think sometimes, oh, poor Krishna, he has to listen to that. So make it sweet. And then the final of these 5 stages is, he said, have longing. And I sort of made this for myself with a little word play, be longing. So in English, to belong is to be a member of a group, to belong to a club or a society of devotees is to belong. But if you make it be long with a hyphen, be longing, be one who is longing, who is actually desiring and aiming toward and anticipating and asking, when will that day be mine? So, and because one is being sincere, then one will be longing for the real thing, not for something superficial. Yeah, so those were some thoughts in relation to Narottama's Lalasa Mayi prayer or song. When will that day be mine? Okay, Hare Krishna. So, again, welcome to all of you who have joined a bit later.
Guru Maharaj, can you please change the sound from
yes.
musician? Yes, thank you.
Okay. First, I want to ask, is Munindra Gana, are you here?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, my obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna.
So you have just completed, I believe, another Prabhupada book marathon?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, with your blessings.
Would you and Subal like to tell us something about your experience this time? You and Subal and Bhakta Björn distributed, I believe, close to 3,000 books.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
And that's very nice. Bravo to you.
Thank you very much.
Which books were you distributing mainly?
Mostly small books, Guru Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly smaller books.
Like what?
Like there's one like Beyond Birth and Death, and another one, Easy Journey to Other Planets, and Chant and Be Happy. And yeah, some different kinds of Science of Self-Realization.
Also, okay, that's.
Yeah.
I think Science of Self-Realization makes a lot of devotees.
Yes.
What is it in Spanish? Ciencia de la autorrealización. So where were you? Were you distributing in Germany or Austria or both?
Yes, both, Guru Maharaj. We were starting in Germany, in Deggendorf. It's a smaller city. And then we was driving to area of Nuremberg and around Nuremberg, Bamberg, Bayreuth, Erlangen, and then to Austria then.
Okay. And in Austria, where were you?
We was actually only like in Salzburg, in Wels, and 1 week in Linz, in the flat. We was distributing from the preaching flat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. And did you have some interesting moments, interesting adventures?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was some. Actually, I was a little bit meditating, also with your blessings to get some new inspired young people. But till now, I don't know if something comes out. But some young people I could give my address card, my personal card. There was some nice, but not that many, but at least like 5 or 5, 6 interesting persons. And it was also nice. I was also visiting some shops and some different studios to place books there, and there was also some nice relationships and interesting exchanges. And it was really interesting. It was a little bit a different style this year because bodily I'm not in a very, very good condition to distribute that many hours. And that's why I tried to distribute also in some shops and in different places. And it was very nice. It was a good experience.
People are in Christmas mood.
Yes, for sure. But mainly like in drinking alcohol and make this, how to say this?
Partying.
Yeah, party style, yeah, to enjoy Christmas.
Yeah. And Subal, you had some adventures.
Much. It was very adventurous and much fun and very harmonious service actually with Muninda Ganepo and Björn. We had nice relationships and nice exchanges. And
any particular moment you can share, something that happened?
yeah, especially in Linz, I met one young guy and talked with him for a little bit on the street, and he also did read one book of Srila Prabhupada before and now took another one. Then he came to a program in Linz, and he was there and also chanting, taking prasanam. That was very inspiring to see that books actually, the follow-up on the books, that thoughts actually come to the program and continue with Krishna consciousness.
Very good, very good. Okay. Yes, one solid result. Of course, solid result is distributing the books. And then we like to see some reciprocation from people, isn't it? Very good. Okay. Was it a cold December?
Yes. The beginning was very cold, and after it became a little bit warmer, but it was often very wet. Also on the last days, it was very windy and very wet. It's a lot of wind and storm and rain. Somehow we survived.
Somehow you survived. Yes, it's the big yajna. Prabhupada said it's more austere than yogis, sitting in water up to their neck or whatever.
I don't know.
But if it gets too much, you just come down here to Argentina during December.
Oh, yes. Would be nice.
Here it's pleasant, although we had some also strange weather here, but now it's nice. Okay, good. So maybe everyone can unmute and give a big Haribol to our book distributors.
Haribol!
Krishna! Jai Srila Prabhupada! Krishna!
Haribol!
Thank you very much.
All glories to Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Yesterday evening, I was speaking with my godbrother, Guru Gauranga Prabhu. He lives in Gainesville, Florida. And he asked me, could we speak together to help him remember experiences from many years ago, because he's now writing his memoirs. He decided to just dig up all the memories he can. So we talked for quite some time, and we didn't quite finish, actually. But one thing that he remembered was how the devotees would come together, the book distributors in Germany and Switzerland and Austria, they would come together. He said every week, every weekend, they would either come to Schloss Rettershof. Alternate weeks, it was Schloss Rettershof or to Zurich. Maybe this must have been after Srila Prabhupada's departure, the Zurich temple. I'm not sure when we obtained that. Anyway, I remember also the devotees would come together and just have these rocking kirtans. on Friday night, Saturday night, I guess. Especially, I remember in Schloss Rettershof. In Schloss Rettershof, there was this kind of open area in the main entrance with a big stairway going up to the second floor. So there was this big open area, and devotees would gather there, and it would echo. It had a chamber, an effect of. So they would make these pounding kirtans with, these young book distributors they were just bundles of energy, and they were just, kind of like bouncing off the walls practically, spinning around. It got a little dangerous sometimes. But yeah, that was exciting. The mood was you went out for a week and you just did as much as you could, and you took whatever the austerity was, the cold weather, the wet weather, the not knowing where you're going to sleep that night. You do that for a week, and then sort of the reward for all of that came on the weekend, seeing all the devotees together, having the big kirtans, and telling Sankirtan stories, and they would have workshops about how to distribute books also, and sort of dramatic performances of distributing books, and sometimes they could be quite funny, quite crazy. And then there was the Sunday feast, and the Sunday feast was always at least 15 preparations. And so it was a real feast. And the joke was, if you've sometimes a devotee would feel like, no, I can't take it anymore. This Hare Krishna, it's too much. These devotees are too much. This place is too much. It's too much everything. I'm leaving. Well, I'm not going to leave until after the Sunday feast. And then you would stay for the Sunday feast. Sita Sundari, you must have lots of stories from book distribution in Sweden. I don't know if you would want to dig up memories of that, but if you like, doesn't have to be now, it could be another time. No, she's staying silent. Yes? Ah, yes. Hare Krishna, we see you. Do you want to say something about your book distribution experience of past years? I don't know if she hears me.
Sita Sundari Mataji, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Wait. Okay. Here I am.
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you. So we're wondering if you would like to say something about your experience of book distribution in the past. Connection maybe not so good.
Yes.
She's turned off her microphone. Anyway, maybe another time. Okay. Good. Anyone else want to share? Oh, your connection is kind of there and not there, so don't quite know what to suggest.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm turning my camera off. Hold on. Okay, so now camera is off. Is the microphone on?
Yes.
No? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, so can I say something or not?
Please.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's so many memories. It's so nice to hear because it awakens so many memories. So I'm trying to pick. Okay, I'm going to pick one, which is really, really amazing. So please wave if my voice stops because I cannot hear or see if I am still online. Okay.
Okay.
So we were. It was in Sweden many years ago, and it was a marathon, Christmas marathon, and it was so cold, like this really cold wind and damp, and it just goes through your bones, and it was just so cold but so wonderful. And we were living in a one little place in south of Sweden for a week, and I was driving and we got lost, and there was no navigation at that time or nothing, and we were just lost. So we kept driving. It was foggy, and we kept driving in the evening. We're driving in circles. We just couldn't find a house. It was out in the country. So at one point we just stopped. It was like on a big field, completely dark. There was a farmer outside. He had a farmer, and I said, okay, we have to ask for help because we're not, it doesn't work. And we rolled down the window, said, hello, good evening. And then we asked him, and then he said, but what are you doing out here so late? A group of girls, And then we just thought, okay, well, this must be Krishna. So we said, well, we are actually a few nuns traveling around, offering books from the Vedic scriptures from India. And then it happened. He looked at us, and his chin dropped. And just remember, this was out on a field in foggy south of Sweden. And he looked at us, his chin just dropped, and he said he had been, for quite some time, had heard about the Vedas, and he had wanted to find out more about it. Oh. And here we stood in the middle of a dark field in the winter, and then our cheeks dropped too. We were completely amazed. And then we offered him books, and he took books and paid for them, and then we started driving off. We immediately found the house. We weren't far away from the house. We'd just been going in circles. So we met him, and we were so blissed out we couldn't sleep the whole night. We couldn't sleep. Yeah. So this was very, very special.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sense that Krishna makes such arrangement just for such purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so many stories, and Krishna is just present, and he just does his magic, and it's just in a way where you just have to. I mean, this must be God, because no one else could do that. This is really amazing. Well, thank you. Now I remember this the whole.
While you are online, how would you like to share with us something of your prasadam distribution bliss balls the last few days?
Oh yes. Oh yes, this is also very nice. So, well, which one shall we have? Okay, so yesterday about the Santa Claus. So we went down to the cafe, and we brought a big ball.
Explain whereabouts are you?
We are in Galdar. It's a small place on Gran Canaria, close to Las Palmas. It's a small little place. Mm-hmm. Yes, and so there is a cafe now down where we live. We live in a house from two friends, and we and we bring Apfelstrudel and cinnamon buns and so much, and they're so very happy, and we are so happy. And so last time I came, it was quite rainy, and I came there walking with my plate, and then one of the waiters, like serving one table outside, just saw me. He stopped serving the people, just came running towards me, and I was running towards him with a plate. And the guests at the table were like, "Where did he go?" "Oh, thank you." And he took the plate, and he was so happy. And this is so nice. And so yesterday, when we came, we had a big plate of balls, sweet balls, and there was a Santa Claus on it. Wait, I can show you actually. You see, it's a really funny, sweet little Santa Claus. Hold on.
You have
Wait.
turn on, if you turn on your camera.
Oh, can you see it? No. Okay. Here. Can you see it?
Okay, yes.
So, and
Good.
so Santa was sitting on top of the balls, holding a little light. Oh, wait. Okay. So,
Yes.
no.
Are you there?
Okay. So,
Coming, going. Coming and going.
the little Santa was having problems. Okay. I think I'm back. No.
Coming in and coming out. A lot of disconnect.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. I think now it should be okay. So,
Right.
this little Santa was sitting, and he kept falling off. Little Santa was tired from Christmas, and it looked funny. And then I said to the ones there, so anyone who can make Santa sit up straight gets extra balls. And so many came to help little Santa, and were fidgeting with the Santa to get extra sweet balls. And we left, and they didn't notice that we left because they were so fixed on the sweet balls. And yeah. So I don't know if you heard this, what I said now, but this was a very nice story also.
So
because
you are bringing Christmas cheer in the form of prasadam to so many people. Very good.
Yes, because inside one little sweet ball is Krishna's presence, is Krishna's whole love inside, and Krishna's whole world in one little sweet ball. It's incredible. How genius is this plan of Krishna to reach out? How kind is that? It's so overwhelming. You just need two hands to roll sweet balls, and that's it.
That's it. And then offer it.
Yes.
So nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Martina says, every Sunday we read the score list in Mein tägliches Bhagavatam, and we are all very happy and thankful for your service. I think she's referring to the book distributors, thankful for their service. So that's nice. Ramananda Gopal is asking, does anyone maybe still have some photos of Schloss Rettershof also from inside? Good question. I don't myself have. I guess that would be a question for Vaidyanath. He would be the first person I would ask, Vaidyanath Prabhu in Hamburg. He might have something like that. Yeah, that would be interesting. Speaking of old photos, recently, I guess maybe you saw, I received from my god sister photos of the initiation in which I was in which I was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in the Jardin de Luxembourg in Paris. Okay, and Rajamohini tells us, Hare Krishna, I had only a little book distribution with mercy of Dhanakeli Mataji and later of Budapest devotees. A few weeks ago, one couple from the UK stopped and just hugged me out of appreciation when I told them about the books. They were very spiritual Christians and had adopted a mentally disabled child out of mercy. They also sheltered a refugee in their home. They immediately asked what practical advice or practice they can bring home from these books and seriously listened about the Mahamantra. Then they hugged me again and invited to their house in the UK. They were not joking. So there you go. You never know who you're going to meet. It was a heartwarming experience. Ramananda Gopal says, once we managed to lock up the center of Berlin to Srila Prabhupada Marathon. Do you want to tell about that, Ramananda Gopal?
Well, it's just something what comes in my mind when I think of my days in book distribution as an old terrorist. And this was like a memorable. It was actually my first Prabhupada marathon, and we stayed in the old, not on the Kastanienallee in the temple in Berlin. I don't know if you ever were there. It was down in the cellar. We had then later Jagannath Baladev Subhadra there. I don't know if you remember. It was a very small little place in a house, and we were the whole hub of brahmacharis there, and every day we went out in Berlin to distribute books, and somehow or other with my friend Cheta Guru we always went to Alexanderplatz, what is quite in the center of East Berlin, and so many things going on there, and so we went for lunch break but left our Wegeli, where we had the books inside, we let it locked on a fence, and when we came back from the lunch break, the whole Alexanderplatz, the whole center was locked, and the Kaufhof had to be closed, like a big shopping center, because. And we came back, and I saw just in the distance when we came walking, I saw the red and white band, kind of letting not people in, and police everywhere, and blue lights, and immediately I knew what's happened. Immediately I got the realization, oh no. So we went there, and we managed to go through the bandage, the red and white bandage, and the police were, what you doing here? Cannot get in. I said, we just want to go to our Wegeli. And I said, what? What Wegeli? It's locked over there. Okay, then they got us, and they made a really big show about it, and it was just our because they thought it's some kind of dynamite. It was after the 9/11 and whatever, so they thought we are kind of having a bomb there.
Right.
And they threatened us. We had to pay the whole, because the fire, the fire engine, the fire workers were there, and police, and we had to pay all of this. I said, but there's no law that you cannot lock a suitcase somewhere. They said, in times of terror, you have to know you cannot do this. So, okay. And then in the evening, we came home, and we had to tell our temple president, Murti Prabhu at this time. And we had to tell him, because we were afraid that we really get a big fine for it. And so we told him, and we didn't know if he will be angry or whatever, but he said, no, it's a sign of Krishna. These bombs, they are bombs, time bombs. And do you still hear me, Haribo? I think everybody froze.
Yeah, we're okay.
I'm still there. Yeah. So yeah, he was kind of happy and encouraging about this incident, and nothing came at all. I mean, we didn't get fined or anything. And few months later, we managed this again in the city of Mannheim again, the whole thing, the same thing. Lunch break, come back, and then and even then they put me in the middle, and even video, how to say, television was there and everything, and they put me there, and then I had to go with the police to the Svegli, and I had to open it and go with my hand inside. It was so funny because I knew their books, but they really suspected some bomb inside or something like that. And after they found out that it was just books, then they kind of, how to say, they put my hands on the bag and put me on the car, on the police car, and we had to go to the police station, and they really made a show for the cameras. So I don't know, this was somehow stick in my memory, of course. Yeah.
Hare Krishnas are very dangerous. Hare Krishnas are very dangerous.
Yes. These books are dangerous because they one day they will explode in your heart, and then what?
Yeah. Very good.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Okay, as I was saying, and as most of you know, today is the Tirabhava Tithi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. His departure was, if I remember correctly, on the 1st of January, 1937. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur appeared in 1874. And so much can be said about him, which I'm going to leave for you all to read at your leisure, so to say. And instead, I thought, let's see, where did I put it here? I found an interesting translation, no doubt, from Bengali. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, now let me see if I can share the screen. Here we go. Okay. So this is something from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, specifically from his Upakyan Upadesha. Upakyan means stories, and Upadesha means instruction. So when he was giving lectures, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would tell different stories which were instructive, and some of his disciples would note these down and then write them up, and they were collected, and that became this collection of stories called Upakyan Upadesha. So one story is well known from the Mahabharata. It's the story of Ekalavya and his, well, generally he is kind of celebrated for his Guru Bhakti. Ekalavya approached Dronacharya, wanting to be his disciple for training. Maybe you can tell them this is actually distracting, if they can lower. He approached Dronacharya to get training in archery, in shooting arrows. But Dronacharya rejected him. Why? Because of his low social status. He was basically a tribal, apparently, some sort of tribal. Yes, from a Nishada background. And so, not considered a Kshatriya, Dronacharya said, no way, I can't take you as a student. But Ekalavya was very determined, and apparently he really felt that Dronacharya was his guru. So he went back away he left, he went into the forest, and there he made a murti of Dronacharya. And he worshipped this murti of Dronacharya and practiced his archery. And in the course of time, the combination of his worship and his practice made him exceedingly expert. It seems that he was feeling that he was getting the blessings of Dronacharya, and so he was actually becoming very expert. Okay, so then, I don't know if our translators will like this, but I can read from here. One day, Dronacharya instructed the Kauravas and the Pandavas to leave the royal capital and go to the forest for hunting. As they made their way through the forest, they saw a dog whose mouth had been blocked with 7 arrows. So this gets a little bit gruesome, but this is the story. Seeing this, they were most astonished. Whoever had shot these arrows was far more expert than the Pandavas. Realizing this, they went to in search of that person who had shot the arrows. Gradually, they understood that it was this tribal Ekalavya, who was the son of one Hiranyadhanu. And they understood he's the one who has shot these arrows into the mouth of this dog. Why would he shoot a dog like this? I think that's explained the backstory. I think he was annoyed by this dog barking or something, so he decided to make it force its mouth shut this way. Okay, then I'll just summarize. So the Pandavas went back to Dronacharya, and Arjuna complained to Dronacharya because Dronacharya had blessed him to be the best of all of his students, the best of archers. And he said, look, there's this guy in the forest who is so expert. How is this possible? So Dronacharya, he also didn't know what this is all about. So Arjuna took him and brought him to Ekalavya. And what was Ekalavya doing? He was shooting arrows constantly like rain, it says. Quite thoroughly absorbed in shooting arrows. So then Dronacharya walked forward to Ekalavya, and Ekalavya is now seeing his guru, not in a murti, but in real life, so to say. So he immediately falls down and he offers prayers at his feet. And he introduces himself. He says, "I'm your disciple." And Dronacharya said, "Oh, you're my disciple, really? So if you're my disciple, then a disciple has to give guru dakshina, has to give a gift in reciprocation for receiving instruction from the guru. So you're accepting me as your guru, then you have to give me guru dakshina." And Ekalavya says, "Yes, I am ready. Please tell me, what can I give you?" And Dronacharya tells Ekalavya to cut off and give him his thumb, or he just says, "Give me your thumb, the thumb of your right hand." In other words, he's telling him to give up that which Ekalavya will require if he's going to continue to shoot arrows, because the thumb is, without a thumb, you cannot hold the bow, right? So he's saying, cut off that thumb. How is he going to hold it? Is he going to hold the bow between the, it's not possible. There has to be, I know because I have experience. And even though I'm left-handed, when I was a kid and we were doing archery, I always did it right-handed. Anyway, so what does Ekalavya do? Does he hesitate? No, he doesn't hesitate. He immediately cuts off his, I mean, this is so gruesome. He cuts off his thumb and he gives it to Dronacharya. I don't know what Dronacharya did with it. Okay. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura explains, initially, Ekalavya's guru rejected him because he considered him to be born of a low caste. Yet due to his faith in Dronacharya, he established a clay deity of him and became invincible. Thus, his guru bhakti was established as ideal. On the other hand, Arjuna was envious toward Ekalavya because by his perseverance, Ekalavya had become expert. Therefore, Ekalavya was ruined by Dronacharya. This is the common opinion. Okay, so what I just read, that paragraph, is the Purva Paksha. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is going to say this is what the general understanding is, but that's not how we should understand this story. He says this is not the opinion of the devotees, nor is it a true conception. Everything about Bhagavan is supremely true. Everything about the principles of devotion are supremely true, and everything in relation to the devotee is supremely true. These are the three truths: Bhagavan, Bhakti, and Bhakta. Everything a devotee does is good. everything a non-devotee does is not very good. The non-devotee has many bad qualities because he is not engaged in satisfying the senses of Bhagavan. Those that think that mundane laws are greater than Bhagavan cannot accommodate those words regarding the supreme truth. We have more guests. Hare Krishna. Swagatam. Oh, Amrita Japa is here. Haribol. Ah, gracias. We just got some nice roses. You can offer to the deities. Okay, those that think that mundane laws are greater than Bhagavan cannot accommodate those words regarding the supreme truth. Such persons are nirvisheshavadis, impersonalists, which is to say that they cannot accept the non-differentiated speciality of Bhagavan, bhakti, and bhakta. Okay, now he's going to come back. That's the general point he's making, that Bhagavan, bhakti, and bhakta are the three absolutes, and they are absolute truth and supremely true. And then he's saying that Ekalavya is not accepting that. What was Ekalavya's fault? This analysis is essential. He wore the mask of Guru Bhakti, yet he was actually inimical toward his Guru. Wow, how is that? Whether his Guru actually considered Ekalavya to be disqualified by his low birth or was simply testing him, whatever the reason may be, when his Gurudev did not wish to teach him the science of warfare, it was Ekalavya's duty to accept his Guru's instruction upon his head. But Ekalavya did not accept that. He had the aspiration to become great. Very interesting how he analyzes, how he interprets this story. Let's keep going. Externally, without a guru, his practices would not have been considered lawful, or he would not be in a favorable position to become great without accepting a guru. To this end, Ekalavya concocted a clay form of his guru in quotation marks. He only did this to attain greatness by learning the Dhanurveda. In this way, his main intention was to satisfy his own senses. He did not offer himself as a sacrifice to his guru, his guru's desire, and his own intentions were not sincere. Some may say that ultimately Ekalavya happily accepted the heartless order of his guru without protest. namely to cut off his thumb. But if we consider this topic deeply and with keen discernment, we can observe that Ekalavya considered mundane morality to be superior to transcendental devotion. When the guru requests something to be given as dakshina, then one must offer it to him. It was that sense of morality that inspired him to cut off his thumb. Ekalavya did not offer it with spontaneous devotion. The very nature of bhakti is that it is spontaneous and simple. This is so interesting. It's a very radical interpretation of this episode from the Mahabharata. He's saying that Ekalavya is, even though it seems like he's showing so much guru bhakti, I mean, from every point of view, it really seems like it. Because you would think, how is it possible without genuine guru bhakti for him to become so skilled? It must be because of the grace of the guru that he's able to get that. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura is saying, no, that's not the point. The point is he was actually not following his guru. How we could still ask, how is it he became so skilled? Well, he just practiced a lot. And he practiced so much. Why? Because of this mundane motivation. And that's the point he's going to make. That Ekalavya wanted to surpass the Vaishnavas. Okay, let's see. If Ekalavya had unmotivated and natural devotion within his heart toward Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava, then the Guru, Dronacharya, the best of Vaishnavas, Arjuna, and Bhagavan Sri Krishna would not have been displeased with his behavior. Okay, so Dronacharya was displeased that Ekalavya had become so expert in shooting arrows, but he was, so he was not pleased. They would have been pleased if he were having natural devotion, unmotivated natural devotion. In other words, Dronacharya could see that he's materially motivated, and so he's not pleased. Ekalavya's attempt to learn the Dhanurveda and his hankering to become great were not accepted by his Gurudev. Deep within Ekalavya's heart, he desired to try and become greater than Arjuna, the best of Vaishnavas. The aspiration to become greater than the Vaishnavas is not devotion. It is anti-devotional, and it is the dharma of the Ativadis. According to worldly considerations, the desire to become great is regarded as good, but the effort to take a subordinate position behind a Vaishnava and the attempt to take shelter of a Vaishnava, that is bhakti. And Ativadi is, this is an Apasampradaya from Odisha, started by Jagannath Das of Odisha during the time of Mahaprabhu. Here it's given an explanation. The word Ativadi means one who thinks he is very intelligent. I guess they had some, I don't know what the Ativadis actually did. Ekalavya wanted his expertise to be greater than that which could be acquired by learning Vedic sciences directly from a Mahant Guru. Arjuna notified Dronacharya of this. If Arjuna had not mercifully pointed this out, then the victory of impersonalism would have been proclaimed extensively. This is a very striking way of interpreting this story, because I can say for myself, I always thought, oh, Ekalavya is such a devoted Guru Bhakta. This really is, gives a deeper sense. Because Dronacharya, we can think of it as in the mundane way. Dronacharya had promised Arjuna that he would be the best archer. Now he feels obliged to Arjuna, and therefore he demands, and so on. But if we take it in the way Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura is taken, then it's actually, it has a richer, I think, and a deeper sense. And as Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is saying, it's all about how one views bhakti, the bhakta, and Bhagavan. If they are regarded in the proper devotional way, then they will be pleased. But Dronacharya was not pleased. Dronacharya being recognized here by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur as a bhakta. Oh, and he adds, this is interesting, at the end, he says, if Ekalavya had been an honest devotee of his guru, then Krishna would not have killed such a guru bhakta. He always protects his devotees. But finally, Ekalavya was killed by the hand of Krishna. This is how Ekalavya finally met his end. And that's explained, it says here in the notes, in chapter 48 of the Udyoga Parvan of the Mahabharata. This happens when he is battling with Jarasandha's army. There's also, okay, then he refers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that we cannot judge devotion simply on the basis of external austerities. Against the wishes of his guru, Ekalavya wanted to become greater than the Vaishnava. Therefore, he was killed by Krishna and attained impersonal liberation. Asuras are always killed by Krishna, and the devotees of the Lord are protected by Krishna. The proof of this is Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. Thus, we should never attempt to become greater than the Vaishnavas. If we do not wear a mask of Guru Bhakti, we will never become impersonalists. And in the notes, he quotes a verse from Madhvacharya from his Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, saying that Ekalavya was the angsha of the demon Manimanta. Interesting. Okay, so that's interesting, I think. Such an interesting angle on a story from the Mahabharata. So, so that's from Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Does anyone want to comment on that incident and how it's been interpreted by by our Parama Guru or Parama Guru. Why did I select that? You may wonder. Well, I don't know. I came across it yesterday and I thought, oh, how interesting. Because I had remembered the story of Ekalavya and I was surprised by his this interpretation. I found it very enriching. If there's no comments, then we can go to another writing of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura. One moment. Oops. Okay. We won't have time for all of this, but maybe I can just start it. Okay. Initiation, this is an article, Initiation into Spiritual Life. This is from volume 26, number 7 issue of Sri Sajjana Toshani, published in December 1928. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is giving an explanation of initiation and also saying some very interesting things here. The ceremony of diksha or initiation is that by which the spiritual preceptor admits one to the status of a neophyte on the path of spiritual endeavor. Now, it's well known that Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's language was very dense and difficult. So he uses the word preceptor. Preceptor is one who gives precepts. And what are precepts? Well, they are principles, you could say, or important truths. So one way of understanding the identity of guru is as a preceptor. That ceremony tends to confer spiritual enlightenment by abrogating sinfulness, removing sinfulness. Its actual effects depends on the degree of willing cooperation on the part of the disciple and is therefore not the same in all cases. Okay, he's saying a lot here. He's saying it depends on the guru, on the disciple, as much as the guru, how this initiation works, or to what degree the function of initiation actually works. Which reminds me of what I read last week in our Vyasa Puja talk. I referred to a purport from the Bhagavatam describing I want to say Daksha, but I mean Dhruva Maharaj, as he's about to go back home, back to Godhead, he remembers his mother, Suniti, and in that purport, Prabhupada is speaking about the order of the guru and then the necessity of the guru to take the order. It's the responsibility of the guru to accept and act on that order. He's making that point. Okay, here he says, it does not preclude the possibility. Preclude means to exclude. The possibility of reversion on the novice to the non-spiritual state if he slackens in his effort or misbehaves. In other words, a devotee can fall back away from the standards. The relation of initiation, in other words, is not a guarantee that everything was going to be perfect. Initiation puts a person on the true track and also imparts an initial impulse to go ahead. So initiation, he's kind of taking the word initiation by its more general meaning of that which is a beginning. What does this ceremony do? Well, it puts someone on track, on the right track, the true track, the way, and the way back home, back to Godhead. And it gives an impulse. It gives a beginning push. Yes, go, you can do it. It cannot, however, keep one going for good forever unless one chooses to put forth his own voluntary effort. Yeah, we have to work at it. The nature of the initial impulse also varies in accordance with the condition of the recipient. So even that impulse may be received more substantially or more deeply or less deeply, depending on the condition of the person being initiated. But although the mercy of the good preceptor enables us to have a glimpse of the Absolute and of the path of his attainment, the seed that is thus sown requires very careful tending under the direction of the preceptor if it is to germinate and grow into the fruit and shade-giving tree. Okay, so now he's giving an analogy of a seed. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. Bija means seed in Sanskrit, and Lata means creeper, or like a vine that grows up. And Bhakti Lata Bija, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya, so obtaining the prasada of Guru and Krishna, one gets this seed. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura is saying, you can get this seed, but then, like any seed, if you want it to grow, you have to take care of it, you have to water it, and so on. If you want it to grow to eventually be a tree that gives fruit and shade. Unless our soul of his own accord chooses to serve Krishna after obtaining a working idea of his real nature, he cannot long retain the spiritual vision. The soul is never compelled by Krishna to serve him. Yeah, so he's really putting a lot of emphasis on the responsibility of us as disciple to take what the Guru gives us. It's nothing automatic. interesting, he says, obtaining a working idea of his real nature. So the guru gives the idea, this is your real nature. Now you have to do something with it. You have to develop it. You have to pursue it. You have to follow the order. That's the idea. Okay. Well, that's a longer topic. Oh, there's lots of messages here. Anandamayi writes, Hare Krishna, dear Guru, the reason Dronacharya gave for his situation in the film Mahabharata was that Ekalavya was from the clan of the opponents to Hastinapur. It was Magadha or something, and Drona did not want to make him more skilled to be the danger for Hastinapur, to whom Drona was obliged to. Drona was not pleased, and he destroyed his murti. The mood was also different in Arjuna. He was not envious. Okay, thank you. That's interesting too. Yeah, so there, we could say there's many levels. The Mahabharata, we understand, is specifically dealing with Dharma, Artha, and Kama, and moksha. Madhvacharya in his Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya is giving his Vaishnava commentary, Vaishnava purport, and we can say in a similar sense, Bhaktisiddhanta is giving his Vaishnava commentary in this particular story. So yes, from a mundane perspective, we could say Dronacharya had good reason to disable Ekalavya. Because, of course, Dronacharya was, yeah, it's interesting. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says Dronacharya is a devotee, he's a Vaishnava. But which political situation he was in, he was on the side of the Kauravas. He had to favor the Kauravas. But that was later. I think we have to also, we can say he's anticipating the future, but at the time all of this is happening, all of the Kauravas and the Pandavas, they are young, probably teenagers at this time, being trained in Dhanurveda. So at that time, they're sort of all together. But yeah, we could say anticipating. Ramananda Gopal wants to speak about Guru Tattva more in general in further meetings. Yes, we could do that. And Tia is giving us, she's giving us the link to where this article is. Thank you, Tia. Yeah, this website is from Narasingha Maharaj, the late Narasingha Maharaj, who was my godbrother, and there are lots of quite interesting articles on that website. He was, he was a bit of a maverick, you know the word maverick, a bit of an outsider to the ISKCON world. But I believe he was a very nice devotee and a sincere soul with lots of very valuable insights. Jananivas writes, how was Ekalavya able to attain such expertise in archery by worshipping an authorized murti of Dronacharya. Arjuna was worshipping the actual form of the guru and was not as good. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura is saying that the murti was not really authorized. So that makes the question even more. How could he possibly learn? Before reading Bhaktisiddhanta, I would have taken this as an example of how powerful murti seva can be. He just made a murti and then somehow was blessed by his worship of the murti, empowered through the murti. And he may have understood in that way. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is saying, no, that was bogus. It was a bogus murti. It was not an authorized murti. So the question becomes even more acute. How did he become so qualified? I'm asking the same question. How is it possible? It would seem it would have to be by the blessings somehow of Dronacharya. We can only understand, my only understanding otherwise is by his own faith and his material desire. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he fulfills the desires of the worshippers of the demigods. So we could take it that way, that in a sense he was worshiping Drona as a kind of devata in a mundane way, in such a way that Krishna said, all right, I'll give you what you want. You want to become an expert marksman with arrows. Okay, you can become, but you're not going to have that ability for very long. Why? Because you don't have the blessings of the Vaishnavas. That's my thought about it. Well, on that note, here we are again at that time to end and to wish you all. They say Happy New Year. I would say devotional New Year. I wish you all a devotional New Year. And if you're going to make New Year's resolutions, usually New Year's resolutions get fizzled out after the first 2 weeks, but make a good New Year's resolution to engage ever more joyfully in devotional practice with attention and introspection and sincerity and sweetness and longing. That's my proposal. Next week, where am I going to be next week? Next week, I'm going to be a long ways away from here. I'm going to be in Seattle, Washington, and that means it's going to be, what is it going to be? 7 in the morning, I think. No, maybe it's 5 in the morning. We'll see. I'll try to arrange, but I can't say 100% for sure right now. But we'll try to have a Saturday Sanga also then. So, wishing you all a great week. Stay well, stay sane, chant, and be happy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
All
Krishna,
glories to
Swami.
the devotees.
Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Swami Maharaj. Everything nice in the new year.